Move over shipping, there's a new game in town. Forget imagining which characters should date. Today, we're exploring which characters could practically jump universes.
I am ready. I want to get off this island. I want to battle.
Meeko, Rocket Raccoon. This comparison is almost too easy. We're not even sure these two raccoons aren't the same person. Don't believe us? Check out the facts. Rocket is feisty. His attitude is off the charts. Can you think of another sassy raccoon that never backs down? If Meeko doesn't instantly spring to mind, you probably need to rewatch Pocahontas. Meeko is outspoken, opinionated, and not afraid of confrontation. A huge personality isn't the only thing these two have in common. They're both extremely greedy. Rocket is a big fan of money. He'll do anything for the right price.
Oh, we're getting out. And then we're headed straight to Yondu to retrieve your bounty.
Meeko may not be as interested in cash, but he doesn't live in a currency-driven society. Meeko is all about food. From fish to biscuits, if he can eat it, he's going to find it. Nothing will keep this furry pair from getting what they want. Is this just the way all raccoons are? Meeko and Rocket are so similar, we can't help but wonder, is every ring-tailed critter so greedy and full of attitude? The creative minds that wrote these characters knew exactly what they were doing. Even though they're both rude and greedy, we can't help but love them. They're adorable and full of personality. We love both of these guys equally, and we demand a crossover ASAP. Big Hero 6, The Avengers. What's better than an awesome superhero? A team of awesome superheroes. No one can resist a well-matched team. When heroes have abilities that complement each other, their power is multiplied beyond imagination. Disney has created a lot of really well-balanced groups. They knock it out of the park with the adorable heroes in Big Hero 6. The team came together to get justice for their friend Tadashi. He was the creator of Baymax and big brother of Hero. Standing around their giant friend Baymax, they remind us of another set of heroes. It would be impossible to ignore the similarities. The Avengers are also a plucky supergroup centered around a huge character. The original lineup included the Great Green Hero, the Hulk. Both groups care about each other and seek to bring justice to the world. Fans picked up on an interesting tie-in. It hints at a crossover that we're dying to see. The Avengers films have been wildly successful. When Avengers: Age of Ultron was released, something immediately stuck out. In one scene, Tony Stark is scrolling through a list of artificial intelligence programs. One of the flies is named Tadashi. Could it be that Stark Industries bought Heroes Brothers technology? We really want to know. The Incredibles, X-Men. The X-Men are one of the biggest comic book franchises on Earth. If you've heard of comic books, you've heard of them. There are a ton of reasons why the X-Men have taken up residence in the hearts and minds of people everywhere. Like most beloved heroes, the X-Men are outcasts. They're the underdogs we all love to root for. Through the hardship of being different, there are some serious character bonds there. The X-Men are really a family born with extraordinary powers. Does that ring any bells? We can't help but think of our other favorite family of extraordinary heroes. The Incredibles are each incredibly powerful on their own. Mr. Incredible possesses super strength and is ultra tough. His wife can stretch like rubber. Their kids can create force fields and move at ultrasonic speeds. Baby Jack Jack seems to be able to do almost anything. They all bond together over their differences. Just like the X-Men, the Incredibles have superpowers and super bonds. Thankfully for the Incredibles, they found a lot more acceptance in society.
The legal status of superheroes is hereby restored.
The X-Men have been vilified and ostracized. At one point, they were even outlawed. The Incredibles enjoy fans and celeb status. Elsa, Scarlet Witch. We love Elsa. We can't get enough of her. We're just suckers for powerful women. Elsa is the ultra-powerful queen of Arendelle. She was born with her magical powers to control ice and weather. She has a deep and meaningful relationship with her sibling. Her bond with Anna saved her life and her kingdom. The comic book world has another powerful woman in it, and it reminds us of the Frozen Queen. Scarlet Witch is every bit as powerful as the Disney princess. Her magic has the ability to bend reality. Where Elsa controls snowflakes, Scarlet Witch controls events in time. She can make gas lines explode or cause an evil robot to short circuit. The power these two women yield is incredible. That's not the only thing they have in common. Both of them have a sibling that means the world to them. Scarlet Witch has a twin brother, Quicksilver. When her parents abandoned the twins, they leaned on each other for support. They were raised by foster parents, but never lost sight of who their real family was, each other. Elsa and Anna have that kind of bond too. They lost their parents parents and had to rely on each other for support. These super sisters have a lot in common. Rapunzel SpiderMan. This comparison may seem like a stretch at first glance, but hear us out. Both of these characters have a tragic family history. Rapunzel was taken from her family as a baby. Peter Parker lost his Uncle Ben, and it changed him forever. Both of these characters have grown and evolved after their trauma. Both characters have a similar look and energy too. Peter Parker and Rapunzel are both on the younger side. A lot of attention is paid to how much heat Peter takes for being a kid. He seems to get pushed around a lot. Becoming Spider-Man is hugely empowering for him and totally changes his personality. He gains a ton of confidence and even becomes kind of cocky.
Hey, could you hold this for a second? Thanks.
Rapunzel's youth is only emphasized by her naive look. She's been sheltered in her tower so long that she hasn't had much time to grow up. Rapunzel gets picked on a bit too. These youthful characters carry that vibe over into their appearance. Spider-Man isn't your usual hulking hero. He's trim, slim, and limber. Rapunzel also has a pretty trim figure. If all of these similarities aren't enough for you, how about their favorite mode of transportation? Both characters love to swing around and perform acrobatic feats. Rapunzel uses her hair, and Spider-Man uses his web, but the effect is the same. Merida Hawkeye. We're so excited to include one of the baddest Disney princesses out there. Merida is strong, independent, and most of all, brave. We love her passion and talents for archery. She's obviously devoted hours and hours to honing her skill. Her character goes through a ton of developments throughout the course of her first feature film. She hasn't always made the best choices. At one point, a selfish decision ends up hurting the people she loves. She accidentally turns most of her family into wild bears. Oops. Her story arc reminds us a lot of another archer. Hawkeye made his first appearance in comics as a villain. Much like Merida, he gained some perspective and started thinking about other people. He had a change of heart and joined forces with the Avengers. He may not be a freckled princess, but he is an incredible archer who changed his ways. Hercules Thor. Every culture has an ancient mythology. Humans have been telling each other stories since the dawn of time. It seems like there are some themes that never change, no matter where in the world you are. Stories about strong men can be found all over the globe.
There was a golden age of powerful gods and extraordinary heroes.
In ancient Greek legends, the strongest guy around is Hercules. Hercules is the son of the gods. He was kidnapped as a baby and raised by mortals. His godlike strength was known across the ancient world. He's often portrayed as a tall, blonde, muscle-bound Hulk. Scandinavian myths are full of tall, blonde guys. Comic book writers have always drawn inspiration from myth and legend. The Scandinavian god Thor is such a huge character on his own that he makes an obvious choice for comics. The comparison between Hercules and Thor is pretty on the nose. They're both huge men. They share incredible godly strength. Both are often portrayed with platinum blonde hair. Both even have a signature fashion accessory. Thor has his horned helmet and Hercules has his sandals. If you're going to save humanity with your outwardly strength, you might as well do it in style, right? Prince Philip, Captain America. Up next, we compare two wholesome gentlemen. You'd be hard-pressed to find a comic book fan who doesn't know exactly who Captain America is. He's handsome, charming, principled, and brave. He reminds us a lot of a lesser-known Disney character. Prince Philip is the down-to-earth, charming, and humble guy who wins the princess over. He also convinces his father to let him get out of an arranged marriage to a princess and marry the woman he loves. That's some impressive negotiation. Captain America is a man out of his time. He struggles to balance life in the modern world with his old-fashioned values. Deep down, he's a chivalrous guy. He believes in the same thing that any handsome prince does. There's a certain fashion similarity between the two as well. Captain America is a serious patriot. He's decked out head to toe in red, white, and blue. Prince Philip seems to have similar taste in colors. He's decked out in the same red and blue as our hero. The similarities don't end there. Both characters can be seen holding a gorgeous shield. In Captain America's case, his shield is a huge part of his character. He uses it to defend himself and as a projectile. Prince Philip might not throw it like a justice dispensing frisbee, but he looks pretty cool holding it. Maleficent Hella. Maleficent might be our favorite sorceress. A powerful female character is hard to resist. There aren't many female characters as powerful as Maleficent. Her character is deeply mysterious. She has seemingly limitless powers. It's hard to pinpoint exactly what the source of her power is or if there's anything she can't do. Her magic seems to adapt to whatever situation she finds herself in. We also love her fashion sense. If you're going to be a terrifying magical being, you have to have a signature look. Maleficent rocks a dramatic style with huge black horns and a flowing cloak. Everything about her reminds us of a certain Asgardian who could crush any catwalk. Hella is every bit as fabulous as Maleficent. Her silhouette is very similar. Hella rocks some incredible black horns too. We'd hate to be stuck behind either of them at a concert. Hella has a magnificent cloak too. Her magic is even more powerful when she's wearing this dramatic garment. Hella is so powerful that she held her own in combat against Thor. Not too many characters can say that. Both of these striking women are incredibly dynamic.
Stand back, you fool!
They would make a terrifying crossover. Ariel Mara. Ariel may be the most famous mermaid in the world. Everyone knows King Triton's most stubborn daughter. Her obsession with humans is iconic, so is her fire red hair. If you're looking for a comic book character to compare her to, Mara is a perfect match. Mara is the explosive wife of Aquaman. In her original storyline from the 1960s, she was mostly treated as a supporting character. Writers have since reinvented the character and really focused on her own strengths and powers. Mara's background story is full of tragedy. That's kind of the norm for superheroes. With her famous hubby, Mara had a son. He tragically died and drove both characters through some intense story arcs. Mara ended up spending some time institutionalized in her grief. Ariel has suffered a great loss too. It's barely even acknowledged, but Ariel lost her mother. She also had an epic run-in with Ursula. These two aquatic women have one very important thing in common. They're both strong and incredibly resilient. Each woman has survived a painful loss and incredible obstacles. Both are married to the men of their dreams. Mara and Aquaman have had some issues, but what married couple hasn't? Ariel and Mara both have the bright red hair to match their personalities. We hope you loved our comparisons between Disney and DC Marvel characters. We'll see you next time!